Hey everybody, welcome back to Drawbridge Finance. My name's Levi Woods, and today I'm going to show you how to calculate how many months or years it will take to reach your financial goals. As always, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me today. I am in preparation for doing my week 12 of my $1 Million Portfolio video series. And in preparation for that, I wanted to just go over how I would use an Excel spreadsheet or a Mac numbers spreadsheet to calculate how long it will take in months or years to figure out when our portfolio is actually going to hit $1 million. I'll show you how it works, but what we're doing is we're calculating the number of periods. So we know what our investments are worth now. We have an expected rate of return of around 7% if we're dividend investors. And we know what our financial goal is going to be. So present value, how much it's increasing. We also know if we're making contributions to that. So how much we're putting into that account. And then how much is it going to be worth in the future? What we want to know is how long is that going to take? Now on my computer, I'm using an Apple, so I'm going to use Apple numbers. But it would be easy enough to follow along in Microsoft Excel because it's almost the identical formula. So let's take a look. How long until I reach my investment goal? In this scenario, what we're going to calculate is a person, a character, that has $123,456 in their investment account and they make contributions of $800 per month. How long will it take them to reach $1 million? So we have an expected annual yield, and we're just going to do some calculations in this column. I'm also going to show you guys the common letter values that normally we would use for these calculations. So if you're searching the internet for things, you might recognize some of these. So that's this very first column. So the expected annual yield is going to be commonly referred to as the interest rate. The monthly contribution is going to be payment. The present value is going to be PV. The future value is going to be FV. And then the months for future value, the formula that we're going to use is actually the NPER. The years to future value, we could also use NPER. So it's the number of periods is what NPER stands for. So our expected annual yield is 7%. Our monthly contribution is going to be $800. The present value is going to be $123,456. The future value is going to be $1 million. And then we're going to do this math. Now, in order to make this function correctly, we actually have to make two of these values negative. Follow along for a second. You have to think of it like we have no money in the account. So how much are you going to have to contribute? So you're taking out of your pocket $800 and you're transferring it into this investment. So it's negative $800 from you, positive $800 going into the investment. Also, it's your money going into the investment, so that number becomes negative as well. So you're taking $123,000 and you're taking it out of your pocket, which is negative, and you're putting it into this investment. So for this calculation to work with this formula, you need to have negative values in the monthly contribution and the present value of the investment. The future value is positive. So now for the formula. So in Mac numbers, I'm going to hit the equal sign, and I'm just going to type in NPER and hit enter. And this formula is going to pop up. And we can see we're just going to fill in this information that it's asking for. So the periodic rate is going to be 7%. Now the 7% is an annual return, and we want to calculate for how many months it is. So we're going to take 7% and we're going to divide it by 12. So I'm going to hit divided by 12 to calculate the rate return in months. Now the payment is going to be negative $800. The present value is negative $123,000, and the future value is going to be $1 million. Now, when due, we can either do end or beginning. We're just going to put 0 for omitted and hit enter. So we see the result is 253 months until we hit $1 million. Now, the simplest way to calculate how many years is just to take the number of months and divide it by 12. So the formula for that is just equals the cell 253 divided by 12 and hit enter. And we see we have a result of 21.1 years to future value. But I will show you how to calculate the years using the formula NPER if you want to do it. So we'll clear this out. So start with our formula. So we're going to type in NPER, we're going to hit enter. Our periodic rate is going to be the percentage again, 7%. This time we're not going to divide it by 12. The payment, however, we're going to multiply by 12 because there's actually going to be 12 payments in the period. The period is 1 year, so 12 payments in the year. So times 12. The present value is going to be 123,000. The future value is going to be 1 million, and when due is not important. So hit enter. You can see the result, 21.78 years. Slightly longer because it's compounding annually rather than monthly. So that's how easy it is to set up that little formula on a spreadsheet so we can calculate how many months or years it's going to be before we meet our retirement goals. I would love it if you guys would leave a comment down below telling me how many months it's going to be before you hit your specific goal. Let's get rich together. See you very soon.